What's up, TD Nation? On episode 30 of the TD Nation Kickstart Show, we talk about some artificial sweeteners and diet soda. We also talk about how to track your macros and calories when you go to a friend's house for dinner. And we talk about my daughter, the sharpshooter. What's up, TD Nation? Welcome to episode 30 of the TD Nation Kickstart Show. I'm really excited to be doing the show this week. I have so many shout outs to give for week one of our boot camp, like 30-some names to read off. So I'm going to save that for the end of the show. I'm going to get to some questions. I had a great weekend. My daughter, turns out she's just this incredible archer. She's been doing it a couple months, and she placed second in her first tournament and 8th in her second tournament. So she medaled, finished top 10 both tournaments. Last tournament was out of like 700 plus kids. So we did that all day Saturday. I went into that, super prepared, brought my Shakeology, brought my protein bars, figured out my macros, but it was an all day event and there was no way for me to bring all that food. So I was kind of at the mercy of whatever was there. And then the whole team went out that night and had dinner. So I ate pretty light and then just had pizza at the end of the day. Used that as my rest day. Was off on my calories and macros. Wasn't great, but here's the thing, guys, and the thing that I want to stress right from the beginning in today's show, because I see a lot of you doing this. You do not have to be perfect. Perfection is really hard. And if you're not perfect, you just need to forgive yourself. Now, I always say this. If you're wanting to get down to 5% body fat, of course you have to be perfect. But for most of us, we're just trying to improve our quality of life. We're trying to drop our body fat and our blood pressure and our cholesterol, get to a healthy level where we can improve our quality of life and just ensure that we're going to be around as long as possible for our spouses and our kids and our friends. And if you're doing that, if those are your goals, then you having a bad day here and there is not going to derail you. I did some tough love on Snapchat today and really got after some people because I had first thing Monday morning, lots of emails, lots of snaps with tons of excuses. And excuses. I'm just, I could be a rah-rah coach and pat you on the back when you don't do shit, but that's just not me. So, my job is to motivate you guys and get you moving, but also to let you know that when you have a mistake, when you mess up or you have a bad day, not to throw in the towel. We always say, if you get a flat tire, you don't set your car on fire, and that's the same kind of thing. Just accept that you're not going to be perfect, and when you have those down days, forget about them. They're in the past, and move on. As my daughter gets into archery and gets really good, I always tell her that, I always ask her, I say, what is the number one thing in common all great athletes have? The best athletes in the world all have this in common, and she knows that the answer to that is a short memory. Throw a bad pass, forget about it, move on. It's in the past. Kill the next pass. Have a bad shot, it's in the past. Go on to the next one. So that's what I want to tell you guys is, have a short memory. Do your best. When you mess up, just get back into it. Don't let that derail all your progress. So with all that being said, let's get into today's show. I had a lot of questions. So I've got a couple here that I'll answer today, and then we have plenty for next week and the next week. The first one is from Lydia. When someone invites you over, how do you keep track of your macros? And this is really cool to me because In years past, we've had people asking what are macros, and now we can see that TD Nation is evolving and learning, and you guys are really stepping it up and increasing your knowledge. And now you're saying, well, when that happens, when you go to someone's house, are you tracking your macros and what are you doing? So for me personally, let's say I go to somebody's house and they're having pot roast, and I may not know exactly how they prepared it. I still keep track of my macros. What I do is I go on my FitnessPal, I pull up pot roast recipes, and I figure out the calories. I guesstimate how much I'm having, and I try to err on the high side, and then I enter whatever macros of whatever recipe I found. I just grab that and I enter it. Now, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, but it's 100% better than if I did nothing. So, and this just goes to that perfection thing again. I think a lot of people are so concerned with, well, if I don't know exactly what it is, I'm not even going to log it and just screw the whole day. And that's what we're trying to teach you guys. You don't have to be perfect. If you just track this stuff and do your best guess on what you don't know, you're going to be 100% better than what you were doing before you learned about TD Nation, before you learned about macros. So, don't let that being perfect stop your success and make you stop doing what you know needs to be done. Okay, second question comes from Sheila. How important is it to stop drinking soda? We get this, or diet soda, I'm sorry. We get this a lot because people are worried about artificial sweeteners. They've seen things like forks over knives. They've seen a lot of fear-mongering posts out there, a lot of memes on Facebook. I'm going to give you guys my opinion and let you guys decide on this, okay? The first thing I will say is that obviously if you want to completely stay away from artificial sweeteners and eliminate them, that is the safest route, okay? Is there research that shows artificial sweeteners at 1,000 times more than we normally intake will cause cancer and tumors on rats and mice who are more susceptible to tumors? Yes, there is. Is there research that shows that humans drinking diet soda in moderation are more susceptible to get cancer? I haven't seen any. If you have studies that show that, please post them. I'd love to read them. I'm sure Alan would love to read them. I just haven't seen them. I'm not aware of them. So I think our body's ability to process things and eliminate things is very good. That's what our liver, that's what our kidneys are for. So am I worried if I have 1 or 2 diet sodas a week that I'm going to get cancer and develop tumors? I'm really not. And I haven't seen any research to suggest that. But there is research that suggests there are red flags surrounding artificial sweeteners. So that's why I say if you want to stay away from artificial sweeteners altogether, then that's fine. I mean, obviously that's the safest way to go. I just personally am not afraid of diet soda and artificial sweeteners in moderation. And by moderation, I mean 1 to 2 a week. Would I advocate drinking 7 a day? No, you might have some problems if you're drinking 7 diet sodas a day. And you might not. So I just don't know. I don't know that there's enough research out there. But great question, Sheila. You're just going to have to make your own call on that. I can't tell you one way or another, and I don't know that there's research out there to say one way or another. But there is research that does raise some red flags. So that's why I say, for me, for my personal beliefs, I have diet soda once a week. Usually on Sunday when we go to Chipotle or something for lunch, I'll have a Coke Zero. Do I think I'm going to get cancer because of that? Absolutely not. And if somebody were to tell me that, I'd say sorry, but that's just silly. But that's me. All right. Next question comes from Cindy, and this is kind of funny, and I had to throw this in there just because it's my daughter. Do you feel safer now that you have such a sharpshooter daughter? Sure, I do. I mean, even though I'm a pretty sharpshooter, I know how to shoot a bow and I have a gun. So, but obviously, I love that my daughter is shooting archery and just killing it. It's what's really cool about our kids are just sponges, right? And my daughter has seen me work hard on building a business. She has seen me work hard on losing weight. And she is such a sponge. I don't have to motivate her. I don't have to tell her to practice. her motivation to just be better is through the roof. And I think it comes from just watching her mother and I and everything that we do. We're not on her all the time telling her to practice, and she just loves to do it. And she works so hard. I mean, this is a kid, she's picked up a bow 3 months ago, and she would be placing in the top 10 on any high school team. She's dominating the 7th grade girls, which she's, it's what she competes against, and she's placing in top 10 in junior high. She was 2nd in her first tournament, 8th this week, and she practices like crazy. And it's not something that Renee and I are pushing on her. It's just that she knows if she wants to be the best, she's got to work the hardest, and she works hard. She practices. She goes to 2 practices. She's only required to go to 1 practice on Monday and Tuesday. She goes to 2 practices on Monday and Tuesday, and she wants me to take her for more practice in addition to what they're doing at school. So I think I think it's really, I think that goes if you're a parent who is sitting on the couch eating potato chips, not doing anything, not showing any motivation, not showing that you're trying to improve yourself, I think that stuff transfers to our children, and that's why I think fitness and this group is so important because. And I'm not sitting on a throne saying that I always had it figured out. I certainly didn't. Obviously, I was 267 pounds, and it took me a while to have that aha moment where I said, all right, I got to change my life to be here for my wife and kids and get off the couch and start, making myself better. And I think that's why this group's so wonderful is that, we inspire a lot of people to do that. And in turn, you will see that transfer to your kids. If your kids see you start working on being better every day rather than just sitting in front of the TV and eating cake and potato chips and just, being miserable, your kids are going to be what you are. If you're miserable and always complaining and cussing and doing all these things, your kids are probably going to do the exact same things because they're sponges. So be the example you want your kids to be, and I think, so I don't know how I got off on that. I guess it was because of the question of my daughter, and it's just so cool to see her finally find her thing that she really excels at and kicks ass at, and just works so hard at. I've never seen her work this hard at anything, but to see her work hard and see it be rewarded and see her so excited that she's doing well is really, really cool. And I think a lot of that has to do with just the fact that she watches Renee and I and watches us in our everyday life work hard, Monday through Friday, and then, really spend a lot of time with each other on the weekends. So anyway, I encourage you guys all to do that. That's why I think we all need this group, is so that we can help each other be better, and hopefully that transfers to our children, which is the point of all this, right? All right, so let's get on to boot camp. We're done with week 1. Actually, we're done with week 2 now, but I'm going to read week 1 results, which were insane. Boot camp is killing it. I've got 35 people here who I want to recognize, so bear with me, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. I've had people actually get mad that I mispronounced their name in the past. If you get mad because I mispronounced your name, you can just go ahead and unfollow me. Hopefully nobody on here gets mad that I mispronounced their name. Okay, here we go. Dawn Nisley, down 3.5 pounds. Great job. Justin Hayes, down 5 pounds. And this is for 1 week, guys, of our boot camp, not eliminating any foods. That's why this is awesome. Jennifer, Aguilaro, I'm sorry, Jennifer, I should know that. Down 2 pounds. Linda Boykin, down 2.5. Heather Barnes, down 2.2. Pamela Coleman, down 1.8. Rod Lytle, down 5.2. Candace Mueller, down 2.3. Lisa John, down 2. Amanda Bartelt, down 2.8. Amanda Frederick, down 2.2. Tim Kern, down 4.6. Lydia Mather, down 2. Kathleen Barnes, down 6. Helen Rick, down 3.8. Emily Clark, down 3. Missy Ladens, down 3. Sheila Gerber, down 2. Christine Moose, I can't read my writing, but I know who you are, Christine. You're down 4 pounds. Julie Foyt down 1.5. April Nettleton down 2. Christy Cicchini down 4.3. Jana Davis down 3. Katie Inman down 4. Kayla Stick down 2.5. Jamie Rucker down 6. Lisa Karolski down 3.2. My man John Lambert down 8. Ashley Little down 4. Patty Mayer down 2.8. Nelda Castillo down 3. Sarah Marsh down 3. Katie Bowe down 7. Keisha Collins down 2. And Heather Carter down 2.2. And I want to give a special shout out to Heather Carter and I just know because I'm training her, but she's upped her calories up to 1,500 now. And she's at a new low. She's eating more and still losing weight. She's down to like 124. She's kicking butt. So, you know how happy this makes me, guys, that, in today's world of eating healthy, we have all these people who are fear-mongering, saying you can't eat dairy, you can't eat meat, you can't eat anything but green vegetables. And we have all these people who are eating everything from cheesecake to hamburgers to mac and cheese. They're eating all these things, but they're staying to their calorie and macronutrient goals, and they are crushing it. They are proving that you can eat whatever you want as long as you're staying within your calories and macros. You can make losing weight enjoyable. It doesn't have to be miserable. And that makes me so happy that TD Nation and TD Nation's ebooks and boot camps are teaching people that. So way to go, guys. Way to go. Now, really important point. If you did not see results, and I think I've got 5 people here who gained weight or remained the same, let me know how week 2 went. And if you still stayed the same or gained weight, then we need to adjust your calorie and your macro goals. Very important. And we need to figure out what you're doing for exercise. So get with your coach or get with me so we can figure that out. We can make adjustments and make sure that you start seeing some progress, because you should be seeing progress after 2 weeks. All right, guys, I think that's it. I love you guys very much. Thank you for being a part of TD Nation. Keep kicking butt, and we will talk to you guys on next week's show. Later.